Okay, so just quick overview what pliers I'd like you to have. You need these, you know, in your practice anyway. And then we can talk about, because a good orthodontist will not only act and react with what's happening, you know, with wire changes and elastics, but you need to wire bend. And that's a classic example of where wire bending should be done as soon as you get into TMA, right? You can't wire bend night tie, but you've got a choice of every wire having it in TMA or night tie. When you get into your 1825s, I then finish in TMA. That's when I do my wire bending, right? Okay, if you're on a desert island and you only have one plier to do everything, Jaraback. Yeah? If you ever see any of those arts and craft fairs where those guys bend beautiful stuff, they have a Jaraback. That's the plier. It's called a half round, yes? And back in the day, a good wire bender, and I'm going to show you how to do first, second, third order bends with just this plier. So what's the other term for this plier? It's called loop forming, it's called universal, it's called half round. It's all the same plier. It is flat on one side, curved on. Now what you don't want to buy is the short beak Jaraback, because it gives you less bendability. What you want is the long nose or long beak Jaraback. Right, so write that in your notes. First plier I want you to have a long beak Jaraback plier. You don't need the short beak one, because if you know to use the long beak one, you just bend here rather than there and it's got a short beak. What do we use it for? Burstone loops, and I've shown you how to do this, and there's a video on this that Jane has for you. Where's my friend Pavinda? Pavinda, was it you that I said you need to stop on your 2x4 case and take your ease out? That's how you do it. You understand? If you want to run elastics and you don't have a crimpable hook plier and you're on TMA, you can put a little loop in, you know, so it's a universal loop bending plier. Second plier you need for arch contouring. So when you've got your 1825 in and you take your records and you now want to customize your stainless steel TMA, you need what's called a Delarosa, also known as a half round. Now, remember I said the worst pliers are the Pakistan ones. They're going to melt in your hands after the first autoclave. The most expensive are the German, but they're also the best quality. My pliers are all come from one company called Dentorum, but they cost a fortune. But the use I get for them, it's worth me paying the extra. For you guys who might be doing that much, I'd go German stainless steel, but US made. Yeah, AEZ, Orthoply. Orthoply are good. Agent for Orthoply in Philadelphia. The agent for them is OrthoCare, right? What else? Hugh Freedy, right? Mid-range plier, but good quality. So half round, what do you use it for? To do your arch contouring, to get your customized Damon arch form. Next plier. This is what you need in that case I'm just about to show you, because you need to do a step out bend. Now you can do it with your half round using the flat section, not the curved, but then you introduce unwanted torque because you're not used to wire bending. Yeah? This plier comes in three widths, 1, 2, 3 millimeter. I just get the 2 and be done with it. Right? Now you can use this for horizontal bends and for vertical, right? I'll show you in a minute. It's also known as a hammerhead because it looks like a hammerhead shark. Correct term is step up, step down. It's also known as a first order bend plier, right? Just to confuse you. So if you just press it, what does it give you? The offset. So if you press it the way it's designed, it gives you a vertical offset. If you then grab the plier and turn it this way and bend on the other side, it'll give you the opposite bend. Do you understand? So that's a great way if you want to intrude a tooth. Say you're about to finish and you've got a lateral that you need to bring down 1 millimeter. You can take the bracket off, sandblast it, clean the glue, re-etch, rebond. It's going to take you ages. Or you could just in 3 seconds do that little bend and bang, that tooth's going to move. There's the bend to intrude or extrude using your first order bend plier, your hammerhead. You can also use it, rather than press this way, press that way, and it's going to give you the offer. So first order bend plier, in the case we're looking at now where there's a cross pipe, we'd like to do that. You see? Okay. But if you turn the plier this way, you could also do that. Yeah? So it's for vertical and transverse bends. First order bends. Yeah? Now, second order bend. A second order bend, the correct term is known as tip. Right? So, a second order bend, which can also be done with a Jaraback. If you now have your bracket, what is that going to do when that goes into the slot? It's going to. So if you put that in the slot like that, what's going to go? Is that going to happen? Yes, no, not sure. You've got 50% on this one. Other way, exactly. So the tip you've got to remember, always look at the crown, because you're not going to look at the root. Or you visualize the root, but you're not going to see it. So what you've got to remember, wherever you want the crown to tip is going to be the low side of the bend. Write that down, because I can see everyone going. Right? Second order bend is a tip, right? The low side of the bend is the side the tooth's going to tip to, right? So remember LT, or low tip, low side tip, low side tip, whatever. It's pretty easy for Christ's sake, isn't it? Right? Okay. So if you got this plier and you did this bend and the low side's here, then you're going to tip it the other way. Right? This is called a second order bend plier. Now thank God for you guys, because you're not good at wire bending, you can buy a plier that just goes crimp and does the second order bend for you. And guess what that plier is called? Second order bend plier, yeah, absolutely. So if you look at this plier, it's a bracket width, can you see? And if you get that plier and you press, bingo, your bend occurs for you. And the low side is the side that the crown is going to move to. Or the high side is where the root's going to move. But you know, really? So when do I use this? On my Panorex, when I see roots are together like that. Yes? You got it? If I want to tip the other way, you don't need a special plier. I'd love to sell you one, right? So would the rep. Probably sell you two. So use that for the right, use that for the left. You go. Get the bloody plier, turn it the other way, press. Everyone happy? This plier you don't need, but I'm just going through pliers, right? One day I had nothing better to do. I got my nurse to photograph all the pliers we had out on the rack. I can't remember the last time I used this one. This is, if you don't want to use a Jaraback, like in your case, right? If you don't want to use the Jaraback, you can just get this plier, press it, and bingo, you get a stop in the wire. You understand? But that's ultimate in laziness, really. Get your Jaraback and do it, but up to you, right? Rose talking pliers, what are they used for? Third order bend. What's a third order bend? Torque. So I just went through the second order bend, tip, axial, yep. First order I went through. Third order. Third order can be individual, right? And they come as a set. You grab the part of the wire you want to put the extra torque in. And now, do you get this? There's a male and female part. What do you think the male part is? Do you apply the torque with the male part? Right? So this is the female part. The female part grips the plier. The male part comes in and does the torque. How much torque is up to you? Normally 20 degrees. Everyone happy with that? And then, it's hard to photograph this, but you see the little, right? So when would you use that? You know, in a Div 2, where for whatever reason, you know, one incisor still needs more torque, or both need more torque? Yeah, okay. Now, Tweed torquing plier is for continuous torque, right? So Tweed comes as a set, right? And the Tweed plier, you grab it and you put torque in, and then the important thing is you come around the other side and you take the torque out. Remember, I've shown you that 100 times in wire bending, right? Last plier. This plier is important for your surgical cases and when you put elastics on. Now, there's two crimpable hook pliers. There's a 4-prong and there's a 3-prong, right? The one that I get from TP is a 4-prong. It's very good. Why? Because it indents and the thing doesn't come off. So if you haven't bought a crimpable hook plier, make sure you ask for the 4-prong version. The 4-prong, you come along, you pick up the hook, you go straight to the wire, you go crimp and bang, it puts it on there. For elastics, for surgical hooks, you know. As far as handles, always go for the long handles, because if you're doing intraoral stuff, you need to, you know, get down the back there.